15-year-old Amara was walking home from school with her father. He always praised her love for education and encouraged her to dream big. As they crossed the street, a speeding car came out of nowhere and hit them. It all happened in an instant. When Amara opened her eyes, she was in the hospital, but something was missing. The doctors broke the devastating news. Her father had died in the accident. Her mother, tears streaming down her face, held Amara's hand tightly and whispered, "Your father loved you so much, Amara. He always knew how much you loved to learn. Despite this pain, we have to stay strong." The accident left Amara confined to a wheelchair. She could no longer walk. As she moved through the streets of her small town, she faced the cruel stares and whispered remarks of those around her. Some mocked her, while others avoided her completely. But instead of breaking her spirit, it fueled her determination. She often remembered the words her father used to tell her, "My daughter, knowledge is the most powerful weapon. No one can ever take that away from you." One morning, Amara turned to her mother with excitement in her voice. "Mom, I need a new book today. I want to go to the library." The sparkle in her eyes reflected her unyielding passion for learning. Her mother smiled gently at her determination. As she helped her into her wheelchair, she said, "Whatever you read, don't forget to tell me about it. Books can take you to other worlds, Amara. Never stop learning." When Amara arrived at the library, she felt a surge of excitement as she approached the grand doors. The thought of getting lost in the shelves and spending hours immersed in books made her heart race with joy. But as she tried to enter, a staff member blocked her path. His face was full of disdain, and with a mocking tone, he said, "What are you doing here? This library is for whites only. And look at you, both black and disabled. No one wants to see you here. You don't belong." Amara froze at his words, her chest tightening. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she took a deep breath and raised her head. With a trembling but firm voice, she replied, "I'm here to read. Everyone has the right to read. You can't take that away from me." The man laughed scornfully, shaking his head. "You're right. Black people have no rights here. Go home. There's no way I'm letting you in," he said dismissively, slamming the door behind him. Amara gripped the edges of her wheelchair tightly, her knuckles white with frustration. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she muttered, "This country was built on the promise of freedom for all. My father fought for that promise. And now I can't even read a book. Is this what justice looks like?" The librarian, unmoved, sneered coldly, "I don't know about justice, but I make the rules here. And the rule is, you're not stepping inside." With no other choice, Amara turned her wheelchair and began the long, painful journey home. She kept her head low, trying to hide her tears from the world. When she arrived at her house, her mother was waiting at the door. Seeing the tears streaming down Amara's face, she rushed to her side. "What happened, sweetheart?" her mother asked, voice filled with worry. Between sobs, Amara recounted the humiliating ordeal. "Mom, they told me I don't belong there. They wouldn't let me in because I'm black and in a wheelchair. They said people like me shouldn't even be seen there. Mom, since when is reading a crime?" Her mother, tears glistening in her own eyes, knelt beside her and wrapped her arms around her daughter. "Amara, those people are wrong," she said softly but firmly. "The courage inside you is something they'll never understand. Life will always throw obstacles in our path, but we're here to overcome them. Books, knowledge, learning, these are your rights. Never let anyone tell you otherwise." Amara wiped her tears, her mother's words giving her newfound strength. "I'll go back, Mom," she said with determination. "No matter how much injustice there is in this world, I won't stop fighting for what's right." Her mother caressed her cheek. "You are my brave girl. Your father would be so proud of you. You're not just standing up for yourself. You're setting an example for this whole town," she said, her voice filled with pride. That night, as Amara lay in bed, memories of her father's stories from the war flooded her mind. She remembered his words, "Knowledge is the greatest weapon, Amara. No one can ever take it from you." Clutching her hands together, she whispered to herself, "I'll fight too, just like my father did. Knowledge is my weapon." and I won't let anyone take it from me." At that moment, a new courage bloomed within her. Next time, no one would be able to stop her. Amara drew strength from her mother's words. Early the next morning, she sat in her wheelchair, determined to try again. This time, her eyes shone with resolve. She whispered to herself, "My father always said, knowledge is the greatest freedom. No one will take that from me." As she arrived at the library, she noticed the same judgmental stares. The librarian at the entrance, recognizing her, scoffed, "You're back? I told you you're not welcome here." But this time, Amara didn't reply. She moved her wheelchair forward, silent and unwavering. Inside, she navigated the aisles with quiet determination. The room was filled with whispers and startled gazes as people watched her. Undeterred, she reached the shelf, selected her book, and slowly made her way toward the exit. The silence in the library was palpable. No one dared to stop her. As she reached the door, Amara held the book high in her hands, turning to the onlookers. Her voice was calm, but firm as she said, "Knowledge belongs to everyone. It doesn't matter your color, your body, or your past. If you don't understand this, you're losing more than you think." The librarian, frozen in shock, could only watch as Amara left. She didn't need anyone's permission anymore. She had claimed what was rightfully hers. Word of Amara's courageous act spread quickly through the town. The story of the young girl who defied the rules and prejudice at the library became a topic of heated discussion. Some admired her bravery, while others stubbornly clung to their outdated beliefs. Yet, her actions planted seeds of change. One day, a group of children visited the library with their parents. One boy, curious and thoughtful, turned to his mother and asked, "Mom, why can't someone like Amara come here? She just wants to read." The child's innocent words struck a chord with his mother, leaving her speechless. Amara's story reached the local newspapers, amplifying her message far beyond the library walls. As the tale spread, it forced the townspeople to confront their prejudices. Some began questioning their actions, while others started to see the injustice they had ignored for so long. Eventually, the library announced a historic decision. The ban on Black patrons was lifted. Amara's courage had become a turning point for the community. Her name became synonymous with change, a symbol of resistance against injustice. One bright morning, a large crowd gathered outside the library. Amara, seated in her wheelchair, rolled toward the entrance. The library director stood with a microphone and addressed the crowd. "Amara came here seeking only a book. But in doing so, she reminded us of our humanity. From today, this library is open to everyone." The crowd erupted in applause as Amara entered the library. For the first time, she wasn't met with scorn or judgment, but with admiration and respect. Her mother, standing among the onlookers, wiped tears from her eyes and whispered, "I'm so proud of you, Amara." From that day on, Amara became more than just a brave girl from a small town. She became a symbol of courage and equality for her community and beyond. In her own words, sometimes a single book can change an entire world. As Amara's story teaches us the power of courage and resilience, we want to hear from you. What part of this journey moved you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more heartfelt and uplifting stories. Together, let's spread messages of hope and humanity, because every small act can lead to a big change.